New moon, new month. I'm going to give you a week. I know it's Friday, but I'm going to give you the entire week because you need to know what's going on with this new moon energy. First, I'm going to give you the personal thing that you want to do with this energy. It's extremely important because it affects what's going on globally. And then I'm going to give you the global big picture umbrella situation that's happening. So number one, a new moon is to start fresh, to start something new. Except this energy is also about the past and regret and resentment. Is there something that you didn't do that you regret, that you have resentment within yourself? So first of all, create some self-love with forgiveness. Forgive yourself. Something happened. It just didn't work out. Don't worry about it. Start again. But you want to do it fresh. It's going to be different this time. You want to make sure it involves only self-care because there's a tendency to want to be people-pleasing right now, to do what you think somebody else wants. And it could involve passion. So be careful that your hormones and your chemistry, such as your adrenal, your oxytocin, your serotonin, and your dopamine, isn't involved in this process because that's self-serving the chemical reactions in our brain and our body. We want to make sure that it's self-serving, that it is nurturing us and it's not harming anyone else. You want to get yourself a crystal and you want to put it in some water and you want to put that out on your windowsill overnight. This will begin the ritual of intention. Interesting enough, this is an extremely positive time. Within the next week, we've got Scorpio, 2 planets in Scorpio. Remember, I do true sidereal astrology. It's what NASA follows, not astrology, but astronomy. And astrology is astronomy. Now, don't argue with me about that. Astronomy is not astrology, but astrology is astronomy. If you're having a difficult time with somebody and you understand psychologically what their pain is and empathetically you're feeling compassion for them, then you want to approach them during this time. The new moon is going to feel the effects for 3 days. Okay, so right now we're at November 1st, November 3rd, and even the 4th, you're going to feel the effects of this positive energy. First, before though, I want you to do this ritual. Before you go up to the person to talk to them about a deep, difficult discussion, the first thing you want to do is get the results. So for instance, let's say you had an argument with somebody and you don't want to fight with them anymore. That's how you start off. Say, I don't want to fight with you anymore. I'd like to have a civil talk about this. Would you like to do the same? So you ask them for their permission first. If you're approaching a child, your own child, or maybe even like very close loved one, even your partner, then say, hey, I feel like there's some resolve that needs to happen here. Do you feel the same? Use the word feel a lot during this. When you get the okay from them, because there's an agreeable, or they might add a boundary, okay, I'll talk to you, but if it gets heated, I'm walking away. Okay, don't get mad at that. It's a boundary that they're setting. And then proceed to talk. Remember to always ask them what they're feeling. Okay, here's the global stuff going on. There's been some work going on in the background. I'm talking about Canadian politics, specifically Trudeau, but there's also one more politician. I'm not going to name who that is. And there's 2 politicians and 2 relatives to 2 politicians that are in the United States. And there's a huge investigation that's been going on for quite some time. There was a breakthrough and an understanding that this needs to be revealed, and that was in September for both Canadian and the United States. I also feel there's one more politician that's going to be coming forward, and I feel that that is in Bulgaria, Belgium, and Russia. Don't ask me why. I get these downloads. Either way, what is important is do not share information unless you've done your own research. There's a lot of Scorpio in the air right now. That means there's lies, deceptions, and manipulation going on. Very strong right now. But now some of you may say, we already know this, Holly. It's the world we live in. Friday, November 8th, the truth shall set you free. That's when I see it coming out in the news. The Canadian one, I don't see that happening yet until December and January, but for the 8th to the mid part of November, that's when I see it happening in the States and also the European countries that I had mentioned. In the States, the influence of this investigation is either going to stop or slow down the election, or it's going to reverse the election, which would be Friday. But I feel the 8th of November. But I feel very strongly that it's going to hover around the new moon, which will be Monday and Tuesday, which of course, Tuesday is the election. On Tuesday and on Wednesday, actually late Tuesday, is when the moon moves into Sagittarius. And that's all about, we're uncovering this all, whether people like it or don't. Like literally people are going to die or go down with their ship. And that's it's going to happen late Tuesday afternoon. I mean, it's get your popcorn out, because this is going to be one heck of a show. It doesn't have to do with the ballots or the voting. It has to do with something investigative, criminal charges that's been happening for the last couple of months, several, maybe even a couple of years. But the presence of it needing to be made to the public has been happening in September. And they've been struggling with, do we do this before the election, after the election? When is this all going to happen? And it's like a leak. A leak comes out, and it's a bombshell that happens on Tuesday afternoon. Now, this is astrologically speaking. I'm Canadian. I don't care who the frick you guys vote for. Some things are not in our power. Changes are going to happen. The Great Divide is going to happen. That's between 2026, 2027. Go to my YouTube channel if you want to know details on that. So people that are commenting like, Holly, you're so far right, you're so far left, you're fascist and all those different things, I don't give a I'm Canadian. We got enough problems over here, okay? But of course I want to see world change, and I do see the Great Divide, and it doesn't come without its struggle. That is what happens with change. Take a look at any change that happens in your life. A divorce, a new job, going back to school, having a baby. There's a bunch of wonderful things about that, but it's hard too, because it's what? Change. And that's when we all suffer. We only suffer when we see change as suffering. Anyways, you guys have a great weekend. Namaste.